Hello, Hustlers. Myself, Amay, your host at Medhustlr, third year medical student. Today with us, we have our guest, Dr. Stuti. She is B.D.S graduate. Currently, also she has done MPH from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. This was a short intro from my side, Dr. Stuti. I would also like you to introduce to our audience.
So, hello everyone, and greetings of the day. I am Dr. Stuti Sonthalia, and I have done my bachelor's in dental surgery. After that, I have also have a work experience in practicing at a private dental clinic, and I have also worked for NGOs, and then I shifted to pursuing masters in public health administration from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai.
All right. So for this session, we will be discussing the life journey of Dr. Stuti, how she transitioned from her career, from her clinical career to the non-clinical career, and what was her motive and what was the roadmap. Everything we will be discussing in this session. First of all, I would like to ask you, Dr. Stuti, why did you choose MPH?
Well, I would say that right now, whenever any person asks this question, there are a lot of things that come to my mind. So the first thing is that while I was pursuing my clinical career, at that point of time, by the final year, I was able to understand that my interest did not lie in those sectors. And when I saw the administrative part of the entire setup in which I was working, so I was interning at that point of time at a dental college. And I saw that more than the medical part of it, it was the administrative part of it which played a huge role in the treatment process of a patient. So suppose there are some administrative gaps in your setup, then the patient faces delay in getting treatment, which further worsen their conditions. And so that kind of interested me that, okay, I should try this. And but still I was not very sure. So I decided to pursue some part of my career in a dental clinic and understand whether the decision that I'm going to make is right or not. And that is how I transitioned into a private dental practitioner. And then I understood that no, this is a very huge thing that needs to be addressed. And you can say maybe then, and it was at that point of time that COVID happened. And so it again brought into light how these gaps were the major part of the whole management of the COVID process. So that was how I got interested, and then I decided that I should shift into this particular role.
So once you decided that you want to do MPH, what were the colleges in your list which you have shortlisted?
Okay, so I would be frank. When I thought in my final year about changing fields, my first option was to go abroad because I saw a lot of my seniors going abroad. So I decided to give GRE TOEFL. I prepared for GRE and TOEFL exams and I applied for abroad universities. I got through them, but somehow you see the financial cost of studying abroad, the same courses is very high. And I was not able to understand how to manage those finances at that point of time. So it was then that I realized that, okay, maybe studying in India is a wiser option. But since I was not very sure, I decided to give some break, practice for some time, and make a short decision whether I should go for this course or not. And when I decided that, okay, when I was sure that I have to do this course, I did not want to limit my options. So I appeared for CAT related colleges also who offer these courses. Like there are a lot of courses right now. Jim Goa is there, Wellinker is there, IAHMR is there. KJ Somaya has started a healthcare course. And I think IIM
Yes,
Jammu has also recently started this
I am
course.
Jammu.
So there are
Yes.
a lot of colleges. Yes, in hospital administration, somewhere, something in those lines. So all of these colleges were in my mind, and then I also decided that okay, I should give for TIS also. So it was a very good, happy problem, I would say, that I cleared almost all the colleges that I named, and then I decided to go for TIS because I felt that TIS is a legacy in its own. So, and TIS has this course, it is the oldest course. Out of all these colleges, TIS is running this course for quite some time. So, I felt like I should go for TIS instead of those colleges.
Yes, all right. Very clearly, it is. We can see that this has the legacy for MPH. What were the abroad options you considered? So, if you can tell to our audience, if they want, they are thinking to pursue the career abroad. So, what was in your list? considering abroad?
Well, I would say, see, in abroad, there are two, three courses that happen in the same line. So, first is the health administration course. Second is the master's in public health. So, both these courses are separate in abroad. It's not the same course like over here in TISS. And the third
Yes.
is the health informatics, which is also gaining a lot of popularity these days. And for all these three courses, the top three countries are US, Canada, and Australia. So I would say that over in these countries also, if you get an opportunity to apply abroad, please try to see the rankings of these colleges and apply to top 28 or 30 colleges only, because not all the colleges give you the same kind of opportunities. So it's always wise that you take up the colleges that are there on the top list and you get to study under good scholars, good faculties over there, because in the end, it is that which matters. Your faculty, your guide in these 2 years matters a lot. So if you are planning to go abroad, try these universities. Like in Australia, there is one university, Monash University. It's very famous. And the public health course that it offers is very good. If I talk about health informatics, there are a lot of colleges. Again, you have MIT, Stanford, all of these colleges also offering the same course. Then in public health, you have the John Hopkins University, which is one of the best universities for public health. If I talk about Canada, you have University of British Columbia, which is one of the best colleges for pursuing any of these courses. So if you're planning to go abroad, be very clear. First, I would say that plan your finances well in advance because it is going to cost you a lot. So plan your finances first and then you start preparing for these exams.
All right. What do you think is the roadmap to establish a career in MPH from undergraduates, then getting into the college, then getting into the placement, interviews, admissions, and CV, work experience? How has been the journey so far for you?
Well, the journey every time that I put in one application, it's a different journey for each college because each college has their own set of demands of kind of documents that they want. Like if I talk about abroad, when I was filling in for the abroad applications, you need to write a statement of purpose. And it is the statement of purpose that makes a lot of difference. Even if your marks is less, but your statement of purpose is very persuasive, you tend to get into these colleges. And it takes you around 1.5 to 2 months to write a proper statement of purpose. Apart from that, you need to get letters of recommendations from your faculty. And then you may need to have a good CV to present it over there. So that entire process is around 2 to 3 months, just that part of it, not the exam preparation, just that proper admission process. And then you get shortlisted, then you have interviews. So for each college, it's a very different thing because each college has their own vision, mission. You have to keep all those in mind whenever you sit and write down your statements of purpose and all. If I talk about India, in India, mostly it is the marks, exam marks that are there, and the interview rounds. Some colleges have GD rounds, which are based on the CAT entrance exam. So they conduct a GD round, and then there is an interview round. So if I talk about TISs, in TISs, there is a different thing. So you have to fill a DAF form and then you have to start filling in your OPI, which is the online personal interview that has started. And then you sit for extempo sessions and personal interview sessions. So the roadmap, there is no specific roadmap. It varies for different colleges. And I think each college has its journey on its own. So you need to be very flexible whenever you are filling in applications and you have to keep a very detailed view because any small mistake can, be caught in the interview and you could be questioned on that. So be very clear when you are filing anything, whenever you're filling in the forms, filling in any details and, think on it a lot. Like, why are you filling in for this course? That is one question which is asked everywhere. So be very clear about why you are changing your profession from a clinical to a non-clinical side.
Right. Uh, Also, your journey, like you did UG in dentistry, then you appeared for exam. Can you brief over that also?
So these exams, unfortunately, they have a part of quant in it, which is maths. And being medical students, we do lose touch with maths a lot. And that is a kind of struggle that we face. So if you are planning to do it, if you are well in advance prepared for it, then I would say practice maths thoroughly because that is one thing where we get stuck. So be it CAT exam, be it GRE exam, be it TISS exam, which is now CUET based. So even that would require quant. So you need to prepare for maths a lot. And there is nothing like if I talk about TISS in specific, there is nothing for experience. So TISS welcomes all kind of students. Even if you are a fresher or you are experienced, you have an equal chance of making it to the cohort. So do not think about that as a limiting factor. Like if you have gap year, what if I'll get selected or not? Yeah, if I'm a fresher, whether I'll get selected or not. Both have equal chances. It's just that how you prepare, how you present yourself in the interview, and how keen you are in joining the course. That makes all the difference.
All right, very well said. Also, how many months of dedicated preparation you did for your examinations, and how many hours did you put in every day to get into the course?
So I prepared first for GRE TOEFL, and GRE is by far, I would say, even like tougher than CAT exams. So GRE requires a lot of preparation. I would every day put in around 6 to 8 hours, like that was the minimum, and around 7 to 8 months of preparation because the quant part is very difficult. The LR part of GRE is very difficult. So these took me a lot of time. Even the verbal part is more tough as compared to CAT exams or CUET exams. So that was the toughest part. And once I did that preparation, it became easy for me to prepare for CAT or TISS exam, which was TISNET then, now CUET. But if I talk about my friends who prepared directly for TISNET, it took them around 4 to 5 months because they had to get in touch with maths. If you are very poor with maths, then I would suggest that take 6 months easily to, prepare well for it, and around 4 to 5 hours daily, in which you keep a separate time for maths and then you put in other time for logical reasoning and verbal practice.
All right. Can you mention the resources or coaching which helped you to secure your admission on the way?
So, firstly, I did self preparation for quite a long time. But then I understood that it was not working out really well because I was very strong when it came to verbal and quant, but I was not very strong with logical reasoning because logical reasoning part it kind of differed in different exams. So in CAT, the logical reasoning is a little different, whereas in TestNet, it's a very different kind of questions that are asked. So then I decided to take some coaching help. There are a lot of coaching centers these days. You can YouTube them, they have their demo classes. So I personally decided to go along with TISNET Prep, which is again run by I think two professors are there, and they teach very well. It's a very nominal fee, and they teach on YouTube platform. There is nothing much that you need. A lot of setup is not required. They helped me a lot with the entire thing. Like even my PI preparation, I took from them. So apart from that, there are a lot of, I think I used to watch even videos by Smurg Education. It is also one YouTube platform that provide resources. And apart from that, I think content all if you know the syllabus, you can just YouTube the topics and you'll get thousands of videos. So even I used to do that and I used to prepare for each topic those ways if I needed some extra help. So a lot of resources are there, and previous year question papers, I think that are a must to do thing. You need to prepare the previous year question paper and do a lot of mocks. That is the most helpful part. How many mocks you give, it decides your career, like whether you are able to, get into that proper zone, you are able to take that pressure, that timing, that strategy, all of that comes into place if you give mocks. So go ahead with that. With the OPI thing, I would say that OPI also comes with practice. So if you are able to get some mocks, then it's good. If you're not able to get some mocks, it's still there are a lot of small techniques that you can, practice to polish your PI skills. Like one tip that I used personally and that helped me immensely for my PI was there are few set of questions that are asked to every candidates, like introduce yourself, why this course, what interests you, and some questions about your UG background and all. Why this preference of courses? If you have filled in 2, 3 courses, why is your preference over this course? So you can maybe record yourself on your phone camera and try speaking out these answers and practice. That helps you a lot. That helps you understand your tone. the kind of words that you use, your gestures, what are your hand gestures whenever you answer a question. And you can observe yourself and learn from your mistakes and keep improving. And for extempore also similarly, I used to give myself a topic and time myself, like, okay, 2 minutes are given for extempore. So I need to draft my entire strategy around those 2 minutes, and I used to keep recording myself. So that helped me improve a lot. And this is one tip that I give to all the aspirants who are right now. I get a lot of messages from aspirants how to prepare for a TISNet OPI, because OPI is around the corner in 1 month. And I tell them the same thing, that, practice a lot. If you have someone at home who can listen to you and give you advice, then that's great. And if not, then you can record yourself on phone. There are a lot of tricks and all available. You can record, you can, see, or maybe you can sit in front of a mirror and practice yourself.
Yes, yes. How was your experience with the exam?
With the OPI exam, isn't it?
Yes, yes, TISNet.
So it is actually a little stressful, I would say, because you have 3, 4 professors in the panel, and each professors keep asking you for 2 rounds. So once all 4 of them will ask, and again the second time the first professor will again start questioning you, and the questions can range from anything, from current affairs to like your UG subjects, your current state, like in which state you are staying, whatever health scenario is happening there, to something related to maybe TIS campus, something like, okay, have you been to TIS? Okay, have you been to Mumbai? All of those things. How do you think you adjust over there? So any kind of questions. And even then you have more subject related questions also. Like if you are opting for MPH course, they can ask you something related to biostats, something related to maybe what is epidemiology, what do you mean by frequency, and all of those things can come into place. So it was a little stressful. I appeared for 3 courses. So I gave the personal interview for health administration, hospital administration, and health policy, economics, and finance. And all 3 of them were very stressful for me. But yeah, somewhere down, I knew that I would be able to clear health administration. That was my first preference, and that somehow happened for me. And yes, they do ask you questions about your previous work, if you have any work or if you have published anything during your UG. So for me, I had published few research during my undergraduate. So they asked me about those research. Then they asked me about my work experience with the NGO. They asked me some questions about dentistry, like why dental treatments are so costly in India as compared to like other treatments, why it is not covered in insurance sectors, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Why do you want to come to this college? All of those questions, those are basic questions that, if you sit for any interviews in any of the
And
colleges, they'll keep asking you. Introduce yourself,
exactly.
and whatever you say in your interview, it kind of guides for the next question. Na? That is how it keeps on going.
So they will just check for whatever you mentioned in your application and everything. They are just
Yes.
cross-verifying and checking with your
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah,
And I
all
would
right.
say
That's why
whatever,
we need to be
yeah.
very honest while filling every detail, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes, be very honest, and like even the words that you use matters a lot. I remember I used the word community engagement instead of NGO experience in my DAF, and community engagement seems to be a subject in Masters in Public Health, which I did not know at that point of time. And so I was kind of grilled on that. Okay, what do you think this means? And why have you put in this word for your CV in your detailed application form? So be very careful whenever you fill, and be very honest, as you mentioned. It should be a very honest application. They are very experienced and they can catch you any moment.
All right. How was the admission procedure?
So
Like
the
you
admin,
get
yeah.
once you are done with the exam, you will be getting email, then interview. How is that timeline?
So the timeline is pretty long for TISS because it is a government college. So the timelines are quite longer than other colleges, and that can actually put you in a fix because if you are applying for other colleges also, their timelines is a little less. So their timeline get over by May end maximum. The results are out by June, whether you are in or not, and then classes start by July. But for TISs, the classes start by July end or August first week. So right now, if I see, the exam was conducted in February, the results are out now. As of now, 1 week, it's 1 week that the results are out. And now the OPI will be conducted in somewhere June first week. And then your results will be out by July first week, and then further your classes will start from August first week. So if a person who has got admission into other colleges, they are in a fix. So if you're waiting for TISS results, and over there you have to fill in your money, your fee for the other college, and you have to start joining that college. So that is a tricky portion of applying here.
So you just have to be very sure that you are going to get into the course.
Yeah, like for me, I got into so many colleges, as I mentioned, and I joined
Yes.
one college, and then I decided, like, no, okay, I want to go for TISS. So I decided at that point of time where I was able to get all my fee as a refund with a very minimum charge that was being cut. So that kind
Yes.
of worked in my favor, but it's not the case for everyone.
All right. How was the curriculum in TIS?
The curriculum in TISS, TISS offers you two major branches, Masters in Public Health and Masters in Hospital Administration. And in Masters in Public Health, you have further three courses, which is Health Administration, Social Epidemiology, and Health Policy, Economics, and Finance. The curriculum in first semester is almost the same for all of these four courses, except that Health Administration and Hospital Administration have little more courses on finances, like accounting and finance you'll have, but the other two courses would not have those things. And from second semester onwards, it's more oriented towards your specialization. So health administration, it offers you a wide range of courses. You have courses little bit about biostats. You have some curriculum based on health administrative specific courses, like how to manage national health programs, community engagement. Then you have some finance based courses also that can help you while you are, budgeting and working in your professional realm. So you have financial accounting, you have health financing, you have health economics also. And then you have epidemiology related courses. You have public health course, epidemiology course, you have urban health course, you have HR course also. HR is also a subject that is being taught in health administration. So health administration kind of offers you a view in all the subjects. You have OD course, which is organization development. So all of that is being taught in health administration. If I talk about social epidemiology, the courses are more focused about, biostats and epidemiology part, how diseases are caused, and, the kind of work that is done, a lot of into research oriented subjects. And health policy has more about the policies that are taking place, how you draft and how you make it in today's world, how is it is relevant and all. And hospital administration have more courses about like strategy, operations, all of those are there.
All right. So when you are taught in a class, so how is it? How it is? Like you are given projects or case study, or you are put in a scenario. So how it is for considering academics?
So considering academics, it is lectures are there, faculties taking lectures. It's a lot of interactive cohort based learning, and you are made to think about a lot of things which you, like, initially you might have not thought ki, why this is happening, or why is this important to even think about, but they put you in such situations because it is a social science college. So all of these courses also have a social angle to it. Like if I talk about health, till date I had never thought about the gender perspective in health. Okay, so whenever a person is going to seek a treatment, what gender do they belong to also has an important effect in the kind of treatment that they receive and their health outcomes. So there is a particular subject which is dedicated to gender and health. So in those things, you're put into those scenarios, and then you're asked questions. You're made to do some activities which makes you understand the current scenario that exists in the country. And then yes, you have presentations, you have group assignments, you have individual assignments, you have written tests. All of those things are there, but you do have activities, you have role plays. So we have done a lot of role plays. We have art based projects also, art based assignments, in which we write the script, and then we perform a drama full. We decide we'll play this role, and we'll try to bring out this problem in a positive way, wherein people are able to understand that okay, this is the major root of the problem, and it is also a fun way to learn. So all these things are there in TISS. Because it is a social science college, I don't think, this kind of learning is available in other colleges that I had
Well,
mentioned before.
yes. And how is the classroom like? Are all the students studying there from bioscience, bio life sciences, or are they from the other sectors also?
No, no, TISs, it always promotes diversity. So in your class, if I talk about my cohort, it had people from dentistry, it had people from MBBS, it had people who have done BCom, it even had people who have done BA in history, BA in political science, architecture students who are there coming in. You have a lot of homeopathic doctors, Ayurvedic doctors who are taking up this course. And there are even people who have a lot of experience. Like there were people who have work experience of more than 20 years in this field. And they are sitting
Mhm.
in your class as your batchmates. And there is a lot of peer learning for sure when you come to TISS. Also, I would like to mention there is one USP of coming to TISS over other colleges is that TISS offers you electives in second semester, and those
Yes.
electives are done along with other courses of the colleges. So TISS has courses like HRM, which is one of its flagship course. Again, you have courses like social work, disaster management, ODCL, analytics. All of those courses are there. In second semester, when you take up these electives, you get to interact with the other students who are into these courses, so your perspective widens a lot. So I took up electives like disaster management. So disaster management was something very new to me. And ethical principles, how ethics has dealt with disaster management was something that interested me. In my class, there were people from analytics, people from women's studies, social work, and we all are sitting and discussing on this topic. And then, you just understand that, okay, we are just thinking about health, but there are other perspectives also, and that can have a direct or indirect effect on health. So that is one USP that you might not get into any other college. You will be only there with your cohort. But in TISS, you get to interact with all these different people. And trust me, this is the best place for networking. When I say this advantage, it helps you a lot with just like networking, understanding how different courses work, because somewhere or the other, these courses also correlate with your field. So HR is also playing a role in your field. Human resource is important in health also. ODCL is also important. Health analytics is also something that is very important in our field. It is upcoming, I would say, a stream in healthcare. So it's a
Yes.
USP that only TISS can offer you, and no other colleges it's available.
All right. Do you think students coming from healthcare sector have edge over other students while being in the course and for getting placements, internships?
Um, yes, unfortunately, yes, they do have certain advantage because it is ultimately, in the end of the day, it is a health course. It is a public health course. So they do have certain advantage, especially, when it comes to placements and all. It is a little easier for students who are into healthcare to get placed. But having said that, right now, a lot of verticals have come in healthcare. There is these roles like strategic account manager, and HR manager in healthcare. All of these courses, these people, they want people who are from accounts background, or who have a sound knowledge about financing, who can help them, who can help the company grow, and who also have an experience,
Yes.
internship experience you'll anyway get in the health field. So right now these people also have a very good potential in this field.
All right. Now we will go to some lighter question. So, how was your ideal day as a MPH student?
As an MPH student, I think all of us, we share, be it MPH or any other course, the day is same for all the students. So you go to college by 9, the lecture starts. So you have to be there by like 8:45 sharp over there. And then the classes go up till 6 p.m. Some days it can be even till 7 p.m. And then you get back home. And obviously, it's like loitering around the campus is a must. Whenever you are there, the campus is amazing, TISS campus. So after that, you get back home, you have to work on the assignments. There are a lot of assignments that are there. So the group meeting, group call starts at around 8, 8:30. So by then you have to be home, you have to be ready with all your food and all. And then the assignments, they keep on happening back to back, Zoom calls and Google meetings. And if you are a part of any other committees, like I was a part of one committee in my first year, and second year again a different committee. So because of that, you have committee meetings also. So all of that,
Yes.
it occupies you a lot. So your day would not end anywhere before 12 o'clock at night. and then finding out time for reading and some loitering around the campus and going out or just chilling at Marine Drive, all of that also accounts for the rest of the hours that are there. So you'll be sleep deprived, but trust me, that would be worth the wait
Yeah.
for the 2 years.
Yes. Also, I was going to ask about the committees you mentioned. What are the different committees in TIS? How it actually helps a candidate to grow himself, upskill himself, and eventually how to establish himself in the field of healthcare.
Well, there are a lot of committees. Okay, so first I would say that TIS is, because it is a government college, there is a lot of political committees also that are there in TISs, because different student union groups elections take place. So you can join if you resonate with those committees. There is a lot of like things that you can do along with them. You can stand in for the elections that are there, the student union elections and all. And then apart from that, you also have committees like you have classroom based committees, course based committees, which are there. Like, for example, alumni committee and public relations committee and placement committee. These three committees are there for each and every course. So you can join them and you can represent your class over there. In those student union committees, you represent the college in front of the administrative bodies. And in these classroom based committees, you represent your classroom in front of alumni. Maybe in placement committee, you'll have to work with the placement cells, the companies, the HRs and all. And in public relations, you have to maintain the digital front of your course. And then there are other also clubs and all that are there. Like, for example, Animal Care Club is there. Another committee that is there is known as Bridge. So it tries to offer scholarships to underprivileged students and all. So in that, if you're a part of that committee, then you can, you have to find in with different foundations, kind of merge them and, understand that a potential candidate who needs that particular scholarship, it reaches out to him or her. So that thing is also there. Then there is gender advocate roles also, which is offered by the college. You can stand up for those committees. And I was a part of Acumen committee, which is the business and consulting club. And I was in the founding team of that club. So it was kind of that we started that particular committee. It was started by our seniors and then they put it on us. And so we laid the foundation of that particular club. And I think these committees help you a lot. If I talk about myself personally, it did help me a lot because I was not aware of about these business and consulting part of it. So it helped me gain knowledge about that particular team. And the second thing is that these clubs are a great place to connect with other people. As I said, this advantage that you have so many people from other courses, it is a great thing to learn. You can learn a lot of things. Like I remember in my committee, whenever we used to have meetings, I used to get so many diverse perspectives. Like if I talk about planning, so how you plan the year in the committee. So these people have different views. They are taught different subjects and they try to apply their knowledge in these committees. Similarly, I am taught a different thing. So I bring in my own perspective to that. And then we used to have a little discussion on those things. And then we used to finalize. And we also get a platform to understand what works in the real scenario and what does not. So the club and these committees, they are a very good place to learn, very good place to network, and I would like say a very good place to take a lot of initiatives. So in the first year, I was a part of the public relations committee. And in that, I took up a lot of initiatives. I started my own series of bringing in industry stalwarts to my talk kind of series, wherein I used to ask them about different industry perspectives. At that point of time, I did not know, like, okay, this could be also in the form of podcast or something. But yeah, I did that for my batch, wherein, they used to give in some tips about career and advancement of all those things. So that is how you learn and you get a lot of experience, and that helps you in your placement also. Because that shows that a person is very confident in taking up these roles. The person can take up responsibilities and the person is ready to take up that particular stress despite of the academic pressure that is already there in the course. So even when your placement comes, the people who come in to check your CVs, they see that, okay, if you are there in a committee, it is an added advantage for that particular candidate.
All right. Apart from academic skills, what other skills does TIS focus on?
TISS, I think it gives you a lot of opportunities when it comes to even sports, literary committees. All of those things are very active in the campus. And those things, if you are interested into extracurricular like sports, music, or literature, or any of those things, you have ample of opportunities. You have a lot of events that come up, and they always promote all of these things. All of these clubs are there. There are a lot of guests that come into the campus every day. There is some event happening. There is some guest coming in, and trust me, every night is a starry night at TISS. So all those things are also there.
All right. What do you think are the skill necessary a candidate must know or should have gained certificate or exposure to get into the course?
There is nothing like that. There is no certification, nothing that is required to get into the course. As I said, first thing is being very honest with your application. That is the first thing that they will see. That is the priority, I would say, because the kind of, your proclivity towards the course is seen in your applications. These people have years of experience of, dealing with the candidates, and they can understand like, okay, this candidate is genuine with their application and this candidate just wants to get into the college. They're able to understand that. So be very honest,
Exactly.
and anything else apart from that does not matter. You can say, oh, I got 50% only in my undergraduate. Will I be able to make it? Yes, you have an equal chance of making it to the college as a person who has got 90% maybe in their UG has. So all of those things does not play any role, any significant role, I would say, when it comes to securing your admission. Being honest, your true you are to the subject matter. As I said, they do ask questions about the course specific subjects. So you need to have a basic idea. Okay, if I said about the epidemiology, what is epidemiology? Or what is your idea about the situation that happened in India during COVID? What is your take? What innovative solutions can you offer to that situation? How do you think it could be managed better? All of those things also matter a lot, like how far you are able to think and how present you are there at that point of time when the interview is being conducted. All those things matter much more than your academic part of it.
All right. I was going through your LinkedIn profile, so I got to see some experiences. So I would like to discuss on each part. Whatever details you want to share, you can share with the audience out there. So you mentioned about a gap year after you were undergraduate. So can you describe about that year? What did you like? What you mentioned some details in your LinkedIn. What all activities you participated in that gap year? So can you
Yeah.
elaborate on that?
So basically, I was practicing at the dental clinic, and then COVID happened. The clinics got shut, and because of that, that gap year happened in my CV. And initially, I was a little clueless about what to do during that time. I think all of us were in that stage at some point of time or the other. But then I started volunteering for an NGO, and then I became a very active member in that NGO. I think it was a very good time because the NGO was also related to public health in a way. It arranged blood donation camps. It helped to, at that point of time, blood banks were running dry. And there was a lot of scarcity of blood units. There are people who have thalassemia, who have conditions, who need blood transfusion regularly. So I started working on those causes. And I also started working on the digital and content creation part of those NGOs. And I was very active in these NGOs for the next 2, 3 years till I got into TISS. Apart from that, I also started understanding the public health scenario in much more detail. So I connected with few of my seniors who were working in that department. And then I realized that, okay, maybe further getting into the research part would help me in understanding what public health is, because research is a very important part of the public health, like entire subject, if you see. So I started conducting research again through Google Forms and all, and I worked on two separate researches as an independent researcher. And that kind of also helped me understand what public health is, what is the different things about biostats, for example, standard deviation. So they do ask you in interview, what is standard deviation, what is mean, what is variance. So all of that you are able to understand once you practically do it. So I took those gap years as an opportunity to try out these things. So it also helped me in my CV when I wrote my application for TISs, and it also helped me personally to understand the scenario, what is there on ground reality.
Exactly. Also, there you have mentioned about administrative intern in Odisha. Can you brief over it?
So all these internships that I have done is a part of the curriculum internship that TISS offers you. So TISS offers you three internships for health administration course and hospital administration course, whereas it offers you two internships if you are there in the social epidemiology and health policy. So, if I talk about my experience in Odisha, it was a very nice experience. We worked for National Health Mission under the government of Odisha at that point of time, and 20 students were placed in 5 different districts of Odisha. And those districts were very, it was hot and humid point of time in Odisha, like exactly 1 year back. And those districts face a lot of issues related to malnutrition. And we had to visit the health and wellness center, which is called Ayushman Bharat wellness centers that are set up in the villages. And these villages are very far from the city. So we had to travel a lot interior to those villages, and we have to see the scenario that is there, especially related to the quality of services. So the government of India, it has published the NCOST checklist that is there for which it specifies the checklist, all of those items that should be there in the particular health and wellness center to call it a functional and well-equipped center. Like, okay, this center can give you all the services that is required to in that village for all those villagers. So we used to go to those villages and see what is the scenario over there, what is the problems that the villagers face, and how well kept these centers are. So it is a lot of learning insight for you. And personally, I would say that I had never been into any rural part of India before. So in this scenario, it also helped me understand, the adaptability skills that I have, because for your work you have to be very flexible. You cannot expect especially in the field of public health, if you think you will get a very rosy cozy place and sit and work in the administrative part, it's not going to be there. In all the courses that is there in the health scenario, you will have to go into the rural parts of India and see the on ground reality. And I think that is very
So,
helpful when you study your subjects in the next semesters. All these experiences help you a lot in understanding the subjects in a much better way.
so for how many weeks you were working as an intern over there?
So we stayed there for around 8 weeks, which is like 2 months. So the internships is 2 months. Some students get placed into Aurangabad, which was in SHSRC Maharashtra under the Maharashtra government. Some of us got placed in Odisha. So every year it keeps on changing. It's not the same. Every year they tie up with different government based on the projects and requirements of those governments. And then you get allocated the projects by the government side also, and from the side of the institute also. And then you have an individual assignment also in which you have to work.
Okay. Also, you have mentioned about project intern at Sath Health.
Yeah. So,
So,
Sath Health,
can you?
it was my
Yes.
personal internship experience that I had gained. It was not the curriculum one. And it was mostly related to market research about how, the different needs that is required by the women in the particular age group and particular income group. What are their preferences? And also it helped me understand the kind of, needs and scenarios, the market scenarios of those products that is required in the Indian cases right now. So yeah, it was a very short stint. It was not something very long, because in the summers you have to do data collection for your research. So you have to write a thesis in your master's course in TISS, which is also a major part of your curriculum. It is very rigorous, and you have to be very thorough with your data that you collect. So because of that, this was a remote internship that I had done, and it was a very short project, I would say.
All right. Also, the last thing, administrative intern at Navi Mumbai.
Yeah. So I also worked as an administrative intern recently this year for Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. So over there also we got to understand how the public health scenario is there in the urban part. As I said, the first internship, it keeps you in the rural part. They also try to help you understand the urban scenario. And we would feel that, okay, urban part is doing good because we have so many hospitals in the urban area. But unfortunately, the scenario is not the same everywhere. So that was also an eye-opener part of it. And there is also one internship in which we were put into NGOs. So over there, I was put into a tribal part of India, which was again a very different terrain for us because it was during the monsoon time and there were waterlogging. There was water up to the chest level, and we had to cross the streams because there was no road. So you had to walk into those waterlogged areas and see how people live there. And you know, the belief that people carry in these tribal areas, and keeping those beliefs in mind, respecting their belief and their thought, and then also offering them the modern system of medicine. All of that was a very big challenge. And we also had to travel to different zones, like deserted places where there is no mobile network connectivity, no internet, and you are there just on your own. I remember I was placed in one of the tiger reserves, and it was both very exciting and very scary for me on certain days because we never knew what we would see during the day. But it was very beautiful at the same time because we were, traveling past so many deers, and you see fox on your way while you're going into these tribal villages, and you see beautiful landscape scenarios in those places. And the people are also very loving. In all these internships, I would say the people are very supportive to all the interns that go out there. So it is a lot of learning experience, and personally also it's a very good feel good experience for all of us.
It was during which semester that you got to do all these internships? Is there in specific time, or it depends on the candidate when he wants to choose?
No, no, it is specified for each of the course. So your first internship, which is the rural one, it happens after the second semester. And then the NGO internship happens after the third semester. And the urban internship, it happens after the fourth semester. So it is placed like that, so that after the 2 semesters, you get a considerable knowledge about the subject. So whenever you go into that field, you are able to relate to whatever you have studied, and you can bring into practice over there, because you have to offer recommendations. You have to sometimes bring in action plans, how you are going to change the scenario that is there. You have to offer those institutions some value, right, through the projects that you do. And at the same time, you have to draw learnings for your own growth. So all of these things happen after that particular semester, so that you are able to imply whatever you have learned in the practical scenarios.
All right. If someone wants to go ahead with his academic journey after MPH, so what are the various options available?
So after MPHC, a lot of students get into PhD in public health. Again, you can take up any subjects. You have to sit for your net exams, and you have to, finish those exams. If you want to apply at the same point of time, then along with your second year, you have to prepare. Or else after second year, you can take a drop and then prepare for these exams and go for PhD. The second option is obviously to get into the placement scenarios that take place in the college. So most of these placements, it starts by around like October. I would say October is the starting part of it. So you need to start preparing by August. From August, you start preparing for your placements. You thoroughly reread all the subjects that you are taught, or whatever your internship projects are, your thesis, everything. You make your CVs, and then you start making your cover letter if any company wants. Or, you need to decide, okay, I want to sit for the government sector or private sector. At least that clarity is required at that point of time. And then you can take up any roles. So even if I talk about health administration, you can get into a lot of different realms of career. So one career is there with the government part. As I mentioned, you can get into these government, state government systems, and work as the healthcare consultant for these particular government. You have state government, you have national government also, where you can go, like Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is there. You have National Human Resource Systems, and which is NHSRC is available, where you can go and work. You have health systems training, which is also available, where you can work. You have different state governments, like government of Maharashtra, government of Odisha, government of West Bengal, and all, where you can work. The next part is the NGOs that are there. So you have both Indian NGOs and you have international NGOs like WHO, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, all of that, where with you can get opportunities and you can work ahead. Apart from that, you also have an option where you can get into the private sector, which is the corporate kind of jobs. So over there are again further different verticals. You can get into digital health, which is a very upcoming stream in the healthcare scenario because of the Ayushman Bharat digital mission. There is a lot of growth in that particular sector. You can get into the insurance sector. You can get into the technology part of it. You can get into the AI part of it. So you can get into project management roles. So a lot of different scope is there if you get into the private sector. You can get into consulting also, healthcare consulting, which, PwC, KPMG, EY, Deloitte, all of these companies are offering you. So a lot of scope is there. It depends on you where you want to go. So a clarity of where you want to see yourself is very important. I would say not just like when you get into the college, but after the first year of the college, it's very important that you have this clarity that, okay, I would want to get into the government sector, or I want to go for the NGO, or I want to go for the private sector.
Also, are there global placements from TISS?
Well, global placements are a little rare. All of these like placements you have to apply on your own laterally because globally, TIS is a government college and all the other colleges are private college. So the more focus is on working on ground reality, improving the public health scenario in India, which is why
Right.
more opportunities of this particular context is available. But nonetheless, we have a lot of alumni who are working abroad. So after you gain some experience over here, whenever you apply abroad, it becomes really easy because of the TIS legacy that is there. It becomes very easy to, whenever you go abroad, to put in all these internship experiences into your SOPs and then apply for those jobs.
So if one want to get into the government setup,
Hmm.
so what is the job role, his scope and promotions, starting level, if you have any details about it?
So for the government, I would say they offer you fellowships initially. You are acted as a fellow for the first year, and then you get, if your work is of good nature and good quality, and it depends on a lot of things, your attitude, your behavior in that office also. All of that. After that, you get promoted to consultant. So you become junior consultant, and then you become senior consultant in those government offices. Apart from that, they offer you positions like project management role or program coordinator role. So government runs a lot of programs. If you see, there is this TB programs that are run by different governments. You have malaria program. Similarly, you have dengue program. And during COVID, you had COVID different programs which were running parallelly. So you have NCD program that is there. Different schemes government keeps running. Like PMJ scheme is one of the currently most famous scheme in India. So all of those schemes, they have different program coordinators, project coordinators, then they have state coordinators also. So once you become a project coordinator, you work for a certain district, then you get promoted to state level. And then you get promoted to the bigger, you sit in the MOHFW, and then you start working at the national level. So all of those things keep taking place depending on where you start your career. If you are an experienced person who has already worked at the district for quite a some time, then they might directly take you at the state level.
Yes. If someone is looking to transition his career from clinical to non-clinical side, but he is not sure whether the field is the transition is for him or not, he want to check. So how should he check?
Well, I would say do what I did. That is one thing that I know for sure would work. Try your hand, and that will help you understand your interest. When I worked for the NGO, I was able to understand what administrative part is, what operations part of it was. And it helped me a lot when I moved into the public health administrative part, because I knew my strengths by then. Like, okay, I'm very good with all these tasks. And also it helped me. There were a lot of competitions that also take place in the college. So it helped me win those competitions because I knew how it is the on ground reality. So it helped me perform better in my academic journey. So that is something that I would, recommend you, that do maybe some research to see if you can handle those numbers or not. Because in public health, you will have to work on a research. You will have to do this quantitative data analysis, qualitative data analysis. So if you don't know all those things, even if you know the basics in final year, you are taught community medicine subjects, public health, dentistry, and dental subjects. So you can start applying those things and see like whether your interest lies there or not. The second thing is, I would say, talk to people who are there in the field. It is very important that you talk to people who are already there in the field, understand the kind of things that you have to study, the roles that you get, the kind of work that you have to do, and that will give you a lot of clarity whether you would like to get into that field or not. Like if I talk about myself in the dental part of it, whenever you work as a practitioner, I would say not just dentistry, even MBBS, you have a certain kind of freedom of work. you can open the clinic according to yourself. If you want to say like, okay, I don't want to open the clinic today, I have to do some work, you can do. You can adjust the timing of the clinic according to yourself. You have a little freedom in those things. But if you come to this sector and you take up a non-clinical job, you don't have that freedom. Because either you'd be working for the government or the private companies or the NGO. Over there, you cannot say, okay, today I don't want to come to work, I want to stay at home. That freedom is not there. You will have some supervisors, you will have a certain degree of accountability over there. And that accountability is sort of missing in the dental clinics or the MBBS clinics that are run. So that you have to understand the difference and connect with people, understand their perspective. I think LinkedIn is a very good platform again to talk to people, and most of the people are very pretty welcoming. You have again so many resources in now in today's time after COVID, so many channels, you have so many podcasts and all. You can listen, you can understand. Even in non-clinical, there are a lot of fields. As I said, you have health informatics, you have record keeping, data analysis, healthcare data analytics is a very booming field. I would say like data analytics, if you know that part, you are some like, I would say a gem in the healthcare industry, if you know that particular skill. So all of those things you need to keep updated. Okay, this skill is working, this is more in demand, or this is seeing a growth in time. So all of those things, you have to keep yourself updated and see if your interest also matches with the particular course.
What are your future goals or future expectation?
So, my future goals, like right now, I am about to begin my career in the insurance sector in the healthcare industry. And so I would like to first explore this sector. And in the long run, I would like to see myself working as in the consulting part of it. So I want to shift into consulting slowly and steadily, first and understand the insurance sector so that I have a good hold about the financing part. Because being a medical professional, I think I still have that knowledge gap that is there in when it comes to finances. So I would like to fill that first and then maybe move into consulting part of it.
Okay, so there are various sectors inside healthcare also, like different parts.
Yes.
So if one wants to transition from one to the other, so is it very easy or again it is very difficult for someone to transition?
Yeah, it is easy. It also like again, all of those things depends on the kind of projects you do. Okay, be very clear about the kind of projects you do. I've seen students who are very clear from the beginning that okay, I want to get into digital health. So the kind of projects that they take up even during their internships is related somewhere to digital health. And then the industries that they go into also, the role in all of these companies also they take up like that. Like right now, I'm interested in healthcare financing. So even if I shift the career, if I take some consulting role also in healthcare financing, it will be easier for me to shift. If I do the same thing, if I shift into the government sector, into the financing part of it, so it will be again easier. But then if I from here, if I try to shift into something very different like digital health, it might be a little difficult for me because I don't have any projects to back my interest. So then again, you have to do certifications and workshops to kind of bolster your argument why you want to get into that sector. Then it becomes difficult. So you have to be very clear on those terms. Maintain some level of consistency when it comes to your interest. And also the skills that you learn in your jobs, it also plays a very important role. How you portray yourself in the interviews.
All right. How is the fee structure of TISS?
Well, the fee structure of TISS, it's available on their website and it's very clear. Whatever they mention, it is just that fee, nothing else, no hidden fee, no extra fee is there. And I would say it's very reasonable when you compare it to the other colleges that are there in India as of now. Because for other colleges, I remember during my time, I was thinking about taking a loan and all. But for TISS, it's still something that a lot of people I would say again, I would not say cheap or something expensive because it's a very relative term. Something that is cheap for me might be a little expensive for someone else. But it's something that is still manageable given the kind of placements that you get. The fee that you pay for it and the placements that you get is very much, at par.
All right, we are almost done with the session. So I would like you to leave with an open-ended question. So what is the advice you want to give to all the hustlers out there who are thinking to transition their career from clinical to the non-clinical side of the healthcare?
Well, I would say that if you are planning to transition into the non-clinical side, first be very sure of your interest. Once you are sure, then I think there is a lot of opportunities for you. Previously, the idea of healthcare for us was just limited to the first point of contact, which was the doctor, the nurse, the pharmacist, maybe. And that was it for us. Like, okay, this is the healthcare system. But right now, all of us know that there is a huge opportunity behind this. There is a lot of opportunities in the administration, the hospital part, the policy part, the government part. You have so many startups coming into the healthcare scenario. So if not anything, if you gain some knowledge over here, you can start your own ecosystem. You can build up your own startup in the coming time. You can get into consulting. You can get, into these pharma companies. They also offer you a lot of roles in healthcare industries. You can get into research if you're interested. So all these things are there. And if you are planning to transition, then I think this is particularly the right time, because after COVID, this particular part of the healthcare field is expanding. So this time is a very good time to get into the scenario.
All right, we are almost done. I would like to thank Dr. Stuti for taking out time for this session.